Welcome back. Today I want to teach you how to subtract decimals when the second number has more places than the first. Trickier situation. Sorry, it's kind of a long title, but if you would pause here and write it in your math notebook, and when you are ready to unpause, turn that brain up to 10, and off we'll go. So last time, we sometimes subtracted decimals where the top number, write that out, had more places than the bottom number. So when I set this one up, this has 4 digits, tens, ones, hundredths, tens, ones, tenths, hundredths. This one only has ones and tenths. So when we did that, we had to line up ones with ones and tenths with tenths in order to subtract. And what happened was we didn't have anything here or here to subtract from. So we imagined there was zeros there. Sometimes we wrote them, sometimes we didn't. Because 2 minus nothing or 2 minus 0, same thing. And then we could subtract as normal. 2, 9. Decimal, we just write the decimal, decimal minus decimal. 4 minus 6, going to regroup again. 8 and 1. So when the bottom number had fewer digits than the top, that's what we did. We kind of left blanks here, or we could put zeros there. Didn't matter. So what if we flip that, and sometimes the top number is going to have more digits than the bottom number. So when I do my lining up, I'm going to get something that looks like this: 34 and 9 tenths minus 16 and 234 thousandths. And I've lined everything up correctly: tens, ones, decimals, tenths, and here I am. So this part right here, when the bottom number has more digits than top, this is where you can get into trouble. Temptation is to just say, okay, well, all we did last time was just do that. And that's not what you do here. You can't just do that, and here's why not. We run into this problem where, remember, there are zeros here that we don't see, but they're there. And these are now 0 minus 4, not 4 minus 0. Those are different situations. So I've got to treat them differently, and that gets a little bit difficult. So what I need to do now, I'm going to actually go ahead and write those in. I'm going to put a different color. You've got to treat the zeros when they're on the top differently than the zeros when they're on the bottom. So now 0 minus 4, I can't do it. Borrow from here, nothing to borrow from there. I've got to do a big old regroup in order to begin on this. So I'm going to take one of these to make 10 of these. And then I can take one of these to make 10 of these. And now I can subtract everything. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. 8 minus 2 is 6. Didn't mean for that to happen. Regroup here. 8 and 1. 18 and 666 thousandths. Notice what would have happened if I didn't do this zeros thing. If I rewrite the problem and start over, here's the wrong answer that would be tempting to give. It would be to just say, there's nothing here, so I just do 4 and I just do 3. And then I would get 7 here, 8 here, and 2 here. Notice how wrong my answer turns out if I forget that. So that's what's tricky. If I go back a slide, over here, the 2 just kind of moved down because it was 2 minus 0, which is just 2. It's the same as bringing it down. Over here, it's not. If I just bring down the 4, that's not the same as ending up doing 10 minus 4, and it doesn't work. So got to write that in. All right. Let me do one more just to make that idea more comfortable for you. So this one I've got 8 and 4 tenths minus 3 and 25 hundredths. Let me do that same process again. This one's a little bit less intimidating because there's fewer digits. So right off the bat is my tricky part. What I don't want to do is just say bring the 5 down, because that's not it. I've got to do 0 minus 5 by adding in the 0 here. That is there, but I didn't have to write. 8 and 4/10 is the same number as 8 and 40/100. They're the same value. So now I can't do 0 minus 5. I had an alert there, sorry. So I'll regroup. 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 8 minus 3 is 5. And I get that. Here's what happens if I do it wrong. If I just left it and brought the 5 down, I do get the 5, which seems right. You're like, you said I couldn't just bring the 5 down, but look, that's just because it was 10 minus 5 is 5. But I'm still going to get the next digit wrong. I'm going to get that, and it's still going to be off by just a bit. So that's the key. We've got to put in the 0 there. Let's do 1 or 2 together. I guess we're going to do 2. So this one will be, actually, let's do this one first. This one's a little simpler. We only have to deal with 1 extra digit, then we'll go back and do the one with 2. All right, so we're going to subtract 6½ minus 3 19/100ths. And what I've got to do here, I need you to somehow note what you're putting in there. You're adding a 0 where there isn't one. 0/100ths. I need you to know that that was added in later, not in the problem. That's the key. So now I can't do 0 minus 9. Can't, of course, do 10 minus 9 if I regroup. 10 minus 9 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. That is the right answer. I'm going to write the wrong answer in too. I want you to add that to your notes. Not this. Here's what happens if you don't do the 0. Do 6½ minus 3 19/100ths. And if you don't deal with the 0 and you just bring the 9 down, you can already tell we're going to miss it. And we're going to miss this spot, and we'll get that one. So that is not it. You'll be off every time if you do that, and that's the tempting mistake to make, is to just bring your 9 down rather than do 0 minus 9, which turns into 10 minus 9. So that's the issue. So that's what to do. Do that. Don't do that. And you'll get it every time. All right, when you're ready, we'll do another one. This one's got 2 extra digits. And these get harder because you're going to have a bunch of zeros in your top number, and when you subtract, having zeros in your top number is a pain. But we can do it. So line everything up correctly. 88 6/10. Take away tens from tens, ones from ones, decimal from decimal, tenths from tenths, hundredths from hundredths, thousandths from thousandths. I'm even going to space it out so I've got some good room. Gotta somehow let yourself know that these zeros you see in your top number now, so that we can do it, were added in. I put them in dots, so it's kind of like they're there even though I don't see them, is kind of how I remember it. It's like they're invisible, but they're there. Gotta add those in, and you've got to know that I put them in there even though they weren't in the number. Once they're there, that's the only real new thing to remember. The subtraction is going to be a pain because zeros at the top are a pain, but I can do it. I need something here, can't take it from there, so I've got to go back 2. So I'm going to take 1 of these to make 10 of these. Then I'm going to take 1 of those to make 10 of those. Now I'm ready to get going. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 7 is 2. 15 minus 7 is 8. Or 7. And that's it. I don't think we'll do this one wrong. I like that they had the first one wrong in your notebook. But please note, if you just brought the 7 and the 5 down, you'd already be in a bad spot. So don't do that. And that's it, y'all. That's how you subtract decimals. I hope that makes all the sense in the world and gets you confident and back on track with that. And that's it. See you next time.